everybody. I'm Shailaja. I'll be taking you through today's presentation on queries. We're so excited to present you the part 1 series of the queries feature in Zoho CRM. Welcome to today's session on one of the most powerful features in Zoho CRM, which is queries. So this is part 1 of the 2-part session. In today's session, this is what we'll cover. First off, we'll start off with what are queries in Zoho CRM, when you should use them, where exactly can you apply queries, the different sources and different types of queries, and finally, we'll wrap up with a Q&A. Before we dive right in, let's just analyze a scenario. Most of us would have, had this roadblock at some point in our career. So Patricia is a logistics coordinator at Zilka. So her job is to process hundreds of orders every day, and she uses the orders module the most. So every time Patricia processed a new order in Zoho CRM, she hit the same roadblock. What was it? She had to find out the exact post offices that delivered to the specific shipping code. So what she had to do, every time she had to copy the code, open an external site, look manually, and then paste the results back into CRM. So what are the disadvantages of this process? It's repetitive, it's time consuming, and it is also prone to errors. And then our hero, Adam, he rolled out a silent behind the scenes upgrade. What happened after this? So after this magical update, every time Patricia entered a shipping code in the order record, the related list that shows the list of deliverable post offices got auto-populated in real time. She didn't have to do any button clicks. She didn't have to go through extra work. So for Patricia, the results just appeared as if the CRM already knew. So how exactly does this magic happen? So it is the queries feature in Zoho CRM. So every time the shipping code is entered in the order record inside Zoho CRM, this input triggers a CRM query, specifically a REST API type query. This query sends a request to an external postal API, which returns a list of all post offices associated with that shipping code. And now the smart part. The query doesn't just dump that data. It filters it to show only those post offices that actively deliver to that area. So if I give a shipping code, it is possible that there might be many post offices that deliver and also the ones that do not deliver. So when I use queries, I'm able to filter out only those post offices that actively deliver to that post office. And what was the result? The filtered list of post offices is automatically populated into a related list in CRM. So Patricia never had to leave her CRM interface, and she just entered the shipping code and the system does the rest. Now, why does it work so well? The query runs live, but it runs invisibly based on a field update. It integrates external data into CRM seamlessly. It uses the REST API type, a built-in capability, and negates the need for custom functions. Now, let's begin with the most and the biggest question. What exactly is the queries feature in Zoho CRM? Now, simply put, queries allow you to dynamically retrieve data from CRM and third-party services and display it right where you need it. That is inside your CRM platform itself. So queries help you streamline workflows, make data-driven decisions without leaving the product. Whether it is fetching related records, pulling live shipping updates, or showing ticket status from Zoho Desk, queries bring the data to you inside your CRM. Now, when should you use queries? You can use queries when you want to fetch contextual data, either from CRM or a third-party service. So one example of this would be fetching deals in a specific stage, like negotiation or review, pulling only those post offices that deliver to a given code. You can also use queries when you need precise filtering across modules. You do not want to you do not want to leave the CRM interface, and you want optimized data fetching. So what do I mean by optimized data fetching? Let's take the example of the shipping code. So when I hit the API, it is definitely going to give me heaps of data. It is going to give me all the post offices in that area. But by filtering the ones that I need, specifically the ones that deliver, I'm optimizing data fetching, and I'm also improving the performance of the query. So here, less is more. Now, where can you use queries? So queries are incredibly flexible, and they can be embedded across various interface components. They are Canvas, kiosk, and custom related lists. In Canvas, you can use a query in record detail view, you can use it in a list view. In kiosk, you can associate a query with the screen component and the decision component. So this is how query in a record detail view looks like. So this is the basic details that are available of a contact record. Whereas this section here, it pulls the required ticket details from desk that are related to this contact. So this is one example of using query in a Canvas record detail view. Coming to list view. So this is the list view of the contacts. And here I'm fetching all the details of the account that are related to this contact. So here I'm using queries in the list view of Canvas. Coming to kiosk. So this is a screen component. As you can see, we have the queries component here. So I have used this queries component in my screen. You can also use queries in the decision component of your kiosk. This is a custom related list scenario. So this is a orders record where I have a custom related list that is powered by queries. Now, coming to components. Every query in Zoho CRM is built using 3 core components: source, type, and query. So let's discuss them in detail. Coming to source. What exactly is a source? So a query source is where the data comes from. It can be a CRM module like leads, deals, contacts, or it can be an external service like a postal API or any other third-party service like Zoho Desk, or it could be anything else. So simply put, source is called the data provider. So the queries feature makes API calls to this source to fetch data from them. So when a query runs, it automatically makes an API call to the source, fetches the data, and brings it back into CRM in real time. So the power of queries lies in how easily it can connect your CRM to both internal and external data. So here you can see I have a source of India Post, which this is the endpoint base URL, which the queries will hit to fetch data from this service. Now, coming to queries, types of queries. So the type of query actually depends on the source. So if okay, the different types are CRM module type, CRM COQL type, and the REST API type. So the type of query you write depends on the type of source you have. So if you want to retrieve records from inside CRM, like from a leads module or from the contacts module, then you can use the CRM module type query. So here you can apply condition to filter data as needed. So in this example, in this image, you can see I have created a CRM module type query where I'm querying for records from the deals module. So I have the name and API name, and then the related module is contacts, which means I am fetching all the deals of this contact. So talking about contextual data, this is it. I'm not fetching all the deals, but I'm fetching only those that are related to this contact. So in my criteria, I'm filtering by contact. So when you can see here, I have given the contact ID in curly braces. This essentially means I'm creating a variable. So when I have a variable in my query, every time the query runs, the query fetches data for this variable at runtime. So every time the query runs, it takes the contact ID, and pertaining to this contact, all the deals are fetched. So this is about CRM module type query. So summing up, you have to use this CRM module type when you want to retrieve records from specific modules within CRM. Coming to the next one, COQL based query. So as many of you know, COQL allows you to write SQL-like statements to fetch CRM data. So COQL queries also support querying across multiple modules using joins, and this is especially great when you have one-to-many relationships. So to put it into perspective, to give you an example, you want to fetch all related deals for multiple contacts in a single query. So to achieve this, COQL based query will be your answer. So in this image, I have a COQL type query where I'm again, for the same use case of fetching the deals of a contact, I have the select statement here. So this is my query, which is similar to the COQL API. So whatever comparators and data types are supported in COQL API can be utilized here. Again, I'm using the variable here. So whenever the query runs at runtime, the value is assigned to this variable. So this is for COQL based query. So if you're someone who is well versed with SQL syntax and you would like to fetch data from within CRM modules, then you can use the COQL type query. Next is the REST API type. So REST API queries involve using external services or third-party sources as data sources. So, for example, I talked about fetching the list of post offices from an external API. So that is one example of where you have to use the REST API type query. Similarly, let's say you have Zoho Desk where you get the details of all the tickets, but you want to view them in your CRM alongside CRM contact. Then you could use a REST API type query where the query actually connects Zoho CRM and Zoho Desk, makes the API calls and fetches the relevant data. So to enable this, because it makes queries makes an API call, external API call, it should be added to trusted domain and it should also be added to a source. So because only when you add it to trusted domain, you'll not be blocked by costs, and the queries can actually seamlessly make API calls to the domain. Sorry. And then you should also add it as a source, so that when you add it as a source, when you create a query, you can actually see your source here. So when you have a query with a source, the endpoint gets automatically populated. So here in this example, as you can see, I want to fetch all the post offices in a given zip code. So mailing zip is a variable here which is populated with value during runtime. So whenever you have to fetch data from an external service or a third party source, then you should use the REST API type query. Now, future updates. What does queries hold in the future? So right now we support REST API to connect with external sources, but in future we'll also have the provision to connect you with databases such as MySQL, PostgreSQL, MS SQL, and cloud-based cloud databases such as Amazon Web Services, Azure, Google Cloud. And another interesting fact is that we also have Zoho Flow, which will be leveraged to encapsulate hundreds of services as data sources, which greatly expands the integration possibilities and simplifies data workflows. Now, coming to the most exciting part of this webinar, the demo. So I talked about the use case where we have the orders module, and then we have a related list called deliverable post offices. So our aim is that whenever the shipping code is entered in this orders record, the related list with the list of post offices that deliver to that shipping code should be automatically populated. So what happens in the backend? So we have a query that is of the REST API type because it uses an external API source to fetch the deliverable post offices. And then because we're using a REST API type, we have to add this to trusted domain and also as a source. So every time a record is created in the orders module or the shipping code is entered, every time the query runs in the background, it makes an API call to the external source, and then it gets the list of deliverable post offices for that shipping code. So this is my orders module where I have a couple of records here. Coming to queries, because I'm going to use an external API, I have to add it to the trusted domain. So I'm going to use the India Post API. So this is the name and this is the domain. So every time an API call is made to this domain, because I've added it to trusted domain, the API call goes through. So this is about trusted domain. And then coming to queries, we have queries under setup, developer hub, and then queries. Now that I have added it to my trusted domain, I have to also add it as a source so that query can use this API to fetch records. So this is the source and this is the base URL to make an API call. And then I save it because I've already saved it. That button is disabled for me. So this is the query that I've created for this use case. So as you can see, when I click this source drop down, I have a list of sources that I've already created. So because I've already added India Post as a source, I get it. So I select this and then I've given a name. The API name of the query is automatically populated and the endpoint is also automatically populated. Now the resource that I'll be accessing will be the mailing zip, which means when I give a shipping code, it has to give me the list of post offices in that shipping code. So here I'm passing mailing zip as a variable so that it can be populated for every record in the orders module for every shipping code at runtime. So if you have any parameters and headers, like I said, you can always add it in these sections. Now coming to the serializer, I talked about contextual data. So when I hit the postal API, it gives me a list of all the post offices in that shipping code. The post office might be an active one or it could be an inactive one. but my aim is to fetch only those that deliver. So here using JavaScript, I'm serializing the output of the query. So the response of the query will have all the post offices, but I want only those whose delivery status is delivery here. So when I preview this, let me just give a sample pin code. So when you see this, I have about five post offices that deliver to this shipping address. So because I've serialized this, I am having only those post offices with the delivery status as delivery. So you can serialize this, the response based on your requirement. I'm saving this and then clicking next. So this is just to test the query out. So I'm getting the required response, the serialized response, and then this is the schema of the query. So because I've serialized, the name and delivery status are available at result.name and result.delivery status, and then all the other result is available in the result object as a list or a map. So you can edit the name and the delivery status labels here. So a schema essentially gives you the correlation of the field type in CRM as well as the data type in the query's response. So you can edit this if your business case requires you to. So I save my query. Now the query is saved. Now I'm going to my orders module because I want it in a related list. I'm adding a related list here. When I add related list, I have different options to add the related list from. I can add a related list from a widget, functions, custom apps. Here I'm choosing queries. So when I choose queries, you can see the ones I've already created. And here the delivery hub is the query for this use case. So I'm giving a related list name, deliverable post offices, and mailing zip is the variable that I used in the query, and then I have to map this with a field in my orders module. So the orders module is, because this is a merge field, I'm using the hash here, module orders module, and the field is the shipping code. So essentially the value in this field will be mapped with a variable of the query here. Save. You can see that the related list is added. I'll just reorder this. So I have the related list here. So because this shipping code is already filled, the query runs and then it gives me the list of deliverable post offices in this area. Let's just try creating a record. And then I'm entering the shipping code. So I've saved the record. You can see that the query runs in real time and it gives me the post office in that shipping code that delivers. So this is how you can associate a query to a custom related list in CRM. I also have an example for Canvas. So here, my use case is I want to display the most recent ticket in desk for a contact. So for example, there is a contact in Zoho CRM and I have the same contact in desk. So in that case, whenever a ticket is created for that contact in desk, I want to pull that data and I want to display it in my contacts module, and I want to do it in a Canvas list view. So because I want to have the details of all the desk, most recent desk ticket at a glance, I have chosen contacts list view here. Because I'm using a desk here, I have to again create a connection and then add it to the trusted domain, and I also add it as a source. So because I've added, let me just show it. Desk. So this is the base URL of the API that queries will make, and then this is the connection. So I've added it as a source, and I've also created a query here. So this is again a REST API type query. I've chosen the desk source here, and then I've given the API name, and then the endpoint is populated here, and the API resource will be tickets.search. I'll be searching for the tickets related to a contact. Because it is a ticket related to a contact, I am having the contact's email as a parameter as a value to the parameter email. So here I'm serializing again to get the data of the query. I need a contact's email. So this contact has one ticket in desk. So this is the response. I'm saving my query. This is how the serialized response looks. And then this is the schema of the query. So here I can edit the label here so that the query makes more sense to people who use it. Saving it. Coming to the canvas builder, this is the canvas list view builder. So when you see here, we have different components of the canvas list view. We have different elements, style, client script, and here you can see queries. So when you have queries, generally when you have not associated any query, you will have a box here that says associate query. And then from here, I have chosen the desk recent ticket query. And then I have the subject, status, and the channel fields here. Now, after I save my query, my canvas list view of the contact module looks something like this. So let's just go to desk, create a ticket for one of the contacts. So this contact doesn't have, okay, this contact doesn't have a ticket. So let's just create one. Subject, issue fix, status is open, priority, I'm giving high priority, and the channel is probably email, and then submit. So my ticket is created. You can see I have the most recent details, the details of the most recent ticket in desk. So this is my list view canvas for the contacts module, where I've associated a query with the canvas list view. So we saw a demo on Delivery Hub, and we also saw an example of using queries in canvas list view. So we have about 6 Kaizen posts related to the queries feature in Zoho CRM. So for those that do not know, we have something called the Kaizen series, where we take up a topic every Friday, and a post is out every Friday where a topic is discussed at length with the help of a business case, a lot of examples, a lot of samples. So this is a treasure trove of all the topics. So we have about 6 topics along, with respect to the queries feature in Zoho CRM. So we have a post on handling query variables in Zoho CRM, how you can handle serialization and schema management in queries, how you can leverage the CRM API response object in queries, how you can use the optimize of record ID variables, how you can associate a query in a canvas list view, also in custom related lists. So this brings us to the end of this webinar.